Hello, good morning. Good morning and welcome to Peny Radio and Peny GH. Today we are live. We're live on YouTube, Peny GH, and also on radio, Peny Radio. Wherever you're doing the listening, wherever you're doing the watching, good morning and welcome. It is another beautiful week. Today is Monday, the 7th day of the month of September 2020. And it is a beautiful day. It is Random Thought with Maxine. You know how we do it. Maxine is here in the studios. And starting a new week like this, you know the energy is packed. It's so high. And so we want to believe you're doing well. All right. So you can be a part of the program right from the onset, okay? You can share your comments with us. If you're doing the listening on radio, share with us on WhatsApp 0543829571. But if you're watching us on YouTube, do share your comments, okay, in the comment section, in the live chat, and we will read for you. Share for someone to join. All right, so Maxine is here. Maxine, good morning.
Good morning! Just when I decided to prolong my morning, Charlie Maka.
the energy is...
Hey, I need air. I need air to continue with this one. Charlie, good morning to all my lovely listeners. It's Monday and it's always good to be back. Thank you so much for connecting with us. And as you know, let's just do this. Let's do this, okay?
All right, so you heard it. You said, let's do this. It means that we are not doing this alone. We're doing this with you. We are in this together.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so wherever you're doing the watching, wherever you're doing the listening, it is Random Thought with Maxine. She said, let's do this.
All right, so just do it. Just do it. So all those who have been connecting with me for the past few months will attest to the fact that I love music. I do. And apart from loving music too, I love to dance. I actually grew up in an environment where my father consciously made us enjoy his kind of music, okay? So it was part of the whole package of our upbringing as children. You wake up, there is an interesting music, there's some sounds that you wake up to, and obviously the more you hear, the more it's kind of like imprinted in your mind. And one of my favorites, I think I've said it on the show, would always be the legendary Bob Nestor Marley. And so this morning, are you feeling irate? Are you feeling irate? And my topic for discussion is guilty or not guilty. And for us to get a hint of what it really means to either say you are guilty or not guilty, I'll give you the first clue. The first clue comes from the legendary Bob Nestor Marley. I'm feeling irate. Trust you are feeling irate. Somebody say, hey, Monday morning I feel like, Charlie, I'm feeling irate. This is how I want to start the week. Start with the energy level extremely high. And so my first clue to today's discussion would be part of Bob Nestor Marley's song featuring the Wailers. And I will attempt to sing a little because I drank water, my voice is cleared, and I would attempt. So let's see how it goes. Please, if you are connected, you just let me know whether you are connected from the beginning, and you just give me the title of the song, okay, so that I know you are connected. So Dominic, are we ready?
Yeah.
All right. So today we are doing morning reggae. Man to man is so unjust. Children, you don't know who to trust. Your worst enemy could be your best friend, and your best friend your worst enemy. Some will eat and drink with you, then behind them soup on you. Ajay. Only your best friend knows your secret, so only he could reveal it. And who the cup fits, let's go, let them wear it. Ajay, who the cup fit Hey, let them wear it, my pom. So this is the first clue to what we are discussing this morning. Who the cap fits, let them wear it. And so I have done my own rendition. This is R&B rendition of reggae, but I am sure I have sent across the message for which I probably would have my discussion centered around. Okay, so that's clue number one. And the next thing I want to discuss with you is a bit of how I grew up. One, I grew up with music. I grew up with a lot of fun. I grew up with a lot of dancing. For all those who are on my personal contact list, you know it. Once in a while, I'll post myself dancing. And that is me. I will not allow a good song to go waste. I will dance. And I make sure I enjoy the song. So that is also another part of it. You sing and you dance. That was part of the child. It is train up a child in the way he should go, so that when he grows, he does not depart from it. So obviously the things you get to be trained with are the things you grow up nurturing, and always making sure that you bring them to the fore. The second part was I really grew up in an environment that was liberal in the sense that I did not have parents who were too strict. I mean, you have to do what you have to do. So I kind of like was a bit bothered when people tell me that my mom does not allow me to go out, and you can't wear this in my house, and you can't do that. I mean, there were rules and regulations to go by in my house, but we were just ourselves. And that is something my father consciously impacted into us, that you have to be yourself. So if it is that dress you are wearing, so I'm kind of like baffled when you hear things like people wear certain dresses from the house and they change, and I mean, you see them and they are looking different. They are not putting on anklets when they leave the house, and you see them in town, they have anklets on their legs. Okay, they have this kind of haircut when they are in school. They are coming back to school, they are coming back to the house, they have a different hair, and there's this double standard. And that's not how I grew up. So I tell people that if I wear a short skirt from the house, it means that I came out of my house in that short skirt. So when I got to university, especially when you know that that is where there is total liberation and freedom, people are all excited about enjoying the freedom because they are out of parental control. When they get to university, it is like a freedom haven for them. I didn't feel like that. I felt like whatever it is that I was doing at home, it's probably I'm going to continue, and there was no way I was going to live a double standard life. Interestingly, the university also opens you up to different circles of individuals with different character traits. And for all those who know me, I have interesting lineup of friends, like very interesting lineup of friends. Sometimes I know that in my interaction with some of my friends, people will think that, is she really sure about this kind of person? Is she living a double standard life? How can you be like this and move with that person? Okay, so growing up and this whole university experience also opened me up to some friends, two good friends of mine. The first was a lady. She was the exact opposite of me. When I say she was the exact opposite of me, I meant that, I mean, in as much as I had total liberation and was supposed to live my life and not necessarily live a double standard life, she was more or less like on top of her game. And so the people who see me with her and they feel there's a disconnect. How can you be this cool and move with a typical hey girl, you know? But you know that in the midst of the friendship, it's always a balance. So I kind of like found a balance in her. But there were other people who observed us from a distance and thought that probably I was too decent to have such a friend. And this is how people think, okay? They set standards for us and they expect that we move with those standards. Society sets, they will set the standard for us and they would expect that we'll move with those standards. So that was my friend. That was my girlfriend number one. And I also encountered a boyfriend. When I say a boyfriend, a male friend number two. And this were the people that my entire 4 years on campus interestingly revolved around. So I'm talking about the male friend here now. I've done the female friend. I'm talking about. He was also very quiet, looked very unassuming. And I don't know how we became friends, but you know how it is like, especially when you are in a department that the number is that small. Okay, you, upon interaction after the first 2 weeks, get to know people on a certain personal level. So I don't vividly remember how we became friends, but all I knew was that we had become friends. And thanks to that friend of mine, you know, especially when you work with somebody that everybody thinks she's a bad girl, it kind of like attracts other bad boys to the circle. So I think that is how the other guy too got on board, because I was working with somebody who everybody thought was not correct. So, oh, this girl is loose, in quotes. This girl is carefree, in quotes. They just want to explore and exploit the friend too, who is also in that circle. So I think that's a fair idea, or if I remember how he came into the circle. And to be very honest, that guy was always on point when it comes to dressing. And for me, I like guys who are on point. Those times, it was the era of the baggy jeans, the FUBU, the Sean Johns, and the whatnots. But he was constantly in a nice shirt, sleeves folded up, tucked in properly, nice leather works, brown belts, brown shoes. And that was what caught my attention. I'm like, okay, in the midst of all this fashion revolution, this guy has kind of like carved a niche for himself. And I liked that. And shout outs to all guys who are listening who went to Fancy Pim. Mituche Mamo. I mean, he was a typical Fancy Pim boy, correct black boy. And I like black guys too. Black, if you are black, I like. So he was black too. And the dressing too kind of like was the icing on top of the cake for me. But there was something about him that also caught my attention. In the midst of all the neatly dressed, gentlemanly outlook, he had his ear pierced. And I was like, which kind of guy will dress like he's going to office and wear a blank? But now, back to those years, and I just realized that I love the earrings. For some very weird reason, I like the earrings. Never, like it looked good because it kind of like complemented his dressing. And then it was the big blink, you know. And I am listening to myself speak now. But then I was hypocritical about it. I told him I didn't like his earring. I lied. Because then you were with the University Christian Fellowship. You were a cell coordinator. You were going for UCF meetings. You were doing dawn broadcasts. And so you cannot yoke with unbelievers, true or false. Okay. But there was a part of me that really liked the earrings. I liked the blink. And so when we were getting all close and all that, I would tell him that if you come to my room and want to see me, please take off your earrings. And anytime I meet him at the Potter's Lodge, take off the earrings, which I didn't mean. Because when he came without the earrings, I like, but when he wears the earring, it's like, it's the icing on top of the cake. Like, it was a failed day for me. But this was me pretending because I had to fit in a certain standard. You're a child of God. You should be careful the kind of people you move with. And you know, just like SU days, I wasn't the SU type in secondary school. They will judge you with every single thing they see. So me, I wasn't going for SU. But I just thought like, okay, it's okay to have a relationship with God and know God on a very personal level. And I say this now, and I think that I only asked him to take off the earrings and not wear them when he was coming to see me, because then my UCF people would be calculating and say I have fallen, and that an unbeliever boy has taken me out of the sheepfold of Yahweh. Amen. So it was part of my concern. and I had to look a certain way and present all those who were in my circle in a certain way as living sacrifice, holy and acceptable. Amen. So that was my struggle. But you see, getting to know this guy on a deeper level was amazing. Why do I say that? He was a son of a Methodist priest. So it wasn't like he was coming from a very bad background. His father was Osofo. He was an Osofo's child. He was a pastor's son. And he was also struggling between living the life he wanted for himself and pleasing his dad. So obviously he was living a double standard life. In the house, he was the son of the Methodist Osofo. On campus, he was the guy with the blinks. And there was a disconnect. So I just remembered that in our interactions, I just asked him, do your parents know that you have your ears pierced? He said, no. So why do you wear them? He said, this is what I want to do. So why don't you wear them when you go to the house? I said, they will be heartbroken. And this is my discussion for this morning. We have been hypocritical about a lot of things. Society would want us to present ourselves in a certain way. We want to look right in the eyes of certain people. Being hypocritical is less consuming than living a truthful life. It's okay to fake and to act. It saves you a lot of stress than to say, this is who I am. I want to wear earrings. Imagine the number of conversations we have had about these earrings when me myself was being hypocritical about it. I liked it. It looked nice on him, but I acted as if I didn't like it. That's besides the point. He also in his world was juggling between opening himself up to the entire world and saying, I love my earrings. My father is a pastor. I can understand. But this is who I want to be. This morning, we are asking ourselves this question. Do you find yourself guilty? How do you know you are a hypocrite? How do you know that you have been hypocritical in the past? You know it when you want to just be right in the eyes of everybody. You know it when you know that you say A and you do B. You know it when you say that you would give advice and you go contrary to your own advice. You know it when you say that, oh, this is my philosophy. Me, I don't want to be cheated. And you know you are cheating other people. You know it when you know that the opinions of other people is not the reflection of who you really are. See, we've all acted. Mami Dokno, Nana Mama Brown, James Gardner. In our own capacities, we have formed ourselves as actors, and we are playing roles just to fit in. We are living double standard lives because society expects us to behave in a certain way. We are giving advice and we are doing contrary to what we tell other people. The point is that people judge us by our mistakes. That has always been the struggle. Whether we like it or not, people will judge us. And trust you, me, we have all made poor choices at every point in our lives. Mistakes are bound to happen. But you see, when you make the mistakes and you are not willing to stand for your own mistakes, you allow people to put pressure on you. And the pressures are that you fit in. You have fornicated. You cannot be honest about it. So you are hypocritical about it. You pick that microphone and you are talking to that young person and you are saying that, so don't have sex. It is a sin. Meanwhile, you have done it. In the eyes of every young person who is listening to you, they feel you are the mentor. You are their hero. You are their heroine. But deep within, you know that there is a standard. The things that you are saying are not the things you are doing. It's simple. Can we just practice the things we preach? Can we just go by the things we say? And even if we are not capable, even when we fall short of the standard, even when we make poor choices, can we be honest about it? Because you see, we are acting a lot, especially in these recent times. Everybody wants to appear in a certain way. I remember anytime I put a video out there, especially on my updates, I hear comments like, "Sister in Christ." Then I smile and I am thinking, put me everywhere with music, I will dance. Let there be putu at the parish, I will dance. So people are like, oh, it's a parish thing. People will see you in a certain way, and then you meet them elsewhere. You're thinking, ordinarily, these are people who will not even subscribe to this kind of music. So what is going on here? My second point is that we have allowed people to live a certain way because we want them to fit a certain standard. And that's the whole reason why we are hypocrites. It is not to say that we want or I'm advocating loose lifestyles. No. We are saying that we have to make informed choices and decisions. But there's always a point where we fail. And that's the part we forget. Our humanness. That we can always not get it right. But you see, there's always the option of pretending you are getting it right. And the option of telling somebody that even though I said you should not fornicate, I have fornicated in the past, it didn't help me. Can you retrace your steps again? That's honesty. That's you knowing that there's a part of you that is bound to fail. I know people who have said it emphatically. I don't do married men. They have even said it to their children. Growing up, no way. But you see, life has a way of presenting us with situations. And you find yourself going back on your ways. Can you just be honest about it? That I know I said this. Unfortunately, I ended up with somebody's husband. So that it doesn't look like you professed some standards and you do the opposite. This morning, just like I have found myself guilty some years back, knowing that I loved that earring and I was all creepy about it. Just like you know there is a situation that you are pretending, you are acting up, and you know you have to come clean. But the pressure of being truthful is weighing you down. Can you just, in your mind, can you just find out whether you are guilty of being a hypocrite? Have you been hypocritical in the past? We children always would want to please our parents. When you are not even learning, see your mother coming when they know there's exams. Quickly you go back to the books. Then they leave, you go back to what you were doing, which was not reading. Children are now living double standard lives. Their parents will vouch for them. Oh, my daughter will not do this. Just because parents want their children to fit a certain standard. And the children are something else in school and something else when they come home. Couple would want to fit a certain standard their husbands have set for them. Proverbs 31 wife. So when church people are around, you are all virtuous. You are all cooking. You are all cleaning. But let church people go. You are pouncing on your husband. You are insulting your wife. But you will pick that microphone at church and say, respect your wife. Treat your wife with care. Hallelujah. But you see, unfortunately, people do not know the darkness around the things we say. And the Bible itself speaks against we being double standard people. Just like Jesus will backlash the Pharisees and say they are hypocrites. There are more of us Pharisees in today's world. We have become Pharisees in our own small ways. We are not being truthful about our lifestyle just because we think people would judge us. We don't want to be judged. And I don't advocate that people should judge us. But you see, the whole idea of judging people is the result that people want to live a certain way. Nobody wants to come clean and say, so I slept with a married man, because you'll be judged. And so you'd rather push it or push them under the carpet and appear all sanctimonious when you know that what you are saying is not what you are practicing. It's the two P's. Practice what you preach. Practice what you preach. You can't practice, don't preach. And I do a lot of interactions with young people. In my past 15 years, like actively, I have been a Sunday school teacher. And the only reason why I love the children's ministry is that it kind of like puts a check on you. So I remember growing up with my twin, we fought a lot. Almost every time we still fight, but now I think it's even minimal. But anytime we fight and we exchange words, my mother would always say it's when I'm Sunday school teachers. And that thing would just hit me in the heart. It felt like you are just living a double standard life, because you start in front of children and say, do not fight with your sisters. Let's go. Do not be greedy. Then you come back home and you are fighting. And anytime my mother says that thing, it pierces through my heart. So my interaction with young people, I try as much as possible to be vulnerable. And so when I get people who say, oh, I like what you're doing, and I really want to also start something like that, I'm like, can you be very honest about some of the things? So there was this time we had an occasion to talk to some young people who probably will be mentioned, who were supposed to mentor some people in their parish. And one of the ladies' challenge was that she doesn't think she wants to open up because she feels she'll be judged. Oh, so all this while this auntie is all sanctimonious like that. Oh, she had sex. And so the tag of being judged is her reason for not wanting to be on board. I am not saying that when I stand in front of young people and do all the young people talk, I am fully honest. But I try. Because there's a perception out there. They see you in a certain way. They see that you are flawless. They see that, oh, she's gotten everything. They see that you just have your act together. But it is always not the case. And I understand that a lot of people would backlash as Christians. Oh, don't mind them, they are hypocrites. They say one thing and they are praying and speaking in tongues, and when you go to their house, they are all different people. And I think this is a time for us as Christians to redeem our image. Because we have pointed fingers at a lot of people, not knowing that the other four is also pointing directly to us, and we are not even living what we are preaching. So that's how come somebody will say, I do not want a guy who prays too much. They are not honest. They hide under pray, and they do other things. That's how come somebody will say, I'd rather choose an unbeliever over a Christian. And it's sad when people put out statements like that, because I think we have not done a good job even as children of God. We have lived double standard lives. People have lost hope in pastors just because they had issues, they went and it was another thing altogether. A friend told me, I married a good boy. He's a church boy. He said he doesn't drink. Guess what? Just first 2 months of their marriage, hey, your brother has started sipping small, or kakra. And the lady called me up. It's like, Maxine, my husband says he does not drink. 70% alcohol here there were fridge mu. And that was the breaking point. Now, for all those Christian brothers who are listening to me, this is one tip, free of charge. People say that, oh, the Christian girls, they like the bad boys. Yes, we do. You know why? They come just as they are. And that's the trick. I have had experiences with guys who are not too creepy. They come just as they are. They do not come in sheep in wolf's clothing. They present themselves like that. Take me or leave me. And that's the part we miss as Christians. So you meet a non-Christian brother who looks like a wolf. He will tell you he's a wolf. He will tell you that he will tell you that this whole thing about let's abstain from sex before mommy, I can't do it all. He will tell you. But you meet a Christian brother, the topic for discussion about sex will not even come up. He will not even tell you that he's even attracted to you. He will not even tell you that, oh Charlie, when I see you, there are things that happen to me. I can't really tell you. But wait till you give him the opportunity to be the girlfriend, or bell or kill with them. And he will start pulling surprises that you will probably ordinarily will not even have thought that, hey, Cratchy, so you're capable. And this is what we do not like. We do not like because we think that behind all the tones and the sanctimonials and the things, there's a part of you that's human. There's a part of you that has flaws. There's a part of you that will not always get it right. There's a part of you that would always make poor and uninformed decisions. But there's a part of you that must admit. There's a part of you that must not act. There's a part of you that must not be afraid that when I say it as it is, I'll be charged. We'll be right back.
All right, so we're still here asking this question: are you guilty or not? We've still not found the answer yet. We're still waiting for you. We're waiting on you. Please do answer that question. Are you guilty or not? Guilty or not? I know you somewhere enjoying the message. You somewhere enjoying the program, but we still want to hear from you. Wherever you're enjoying the program from. I know Peter sent something. Peter said good morning. I think that was the early part of the program.
Okay.
Yeah, Peter said good morning. So good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Peter.
Peter is doing the watching from Dubai.
Okay, thank you, Peter.
Peter, are you guilty or not? All right, so wherever you are, share yours with us, okay?
All right, so thank you for all connecting with us. And then I will say this: it's easy to be something you are not. It's always easy, and that's the option that always is available to us. Some of us, we think that's the only option we have, but it takes courage to be truly who you are. It takes courage. See, it's not as easy as I am saying it. It's easy to be something you are not. It's easy to act. You know how it is like when you go for prayer meeting and you are tired and say pray, and you know that your coordinator is just around. That is why you increase the momentum. We've all faked certain things. Fake that we are in the spirit. Fake that we have fasted. Fake that we did the 10 days as was announced. Fake that we were abstaining till marriage. We have been hypocritical. Nobody wants to start the conversation. And so people are like, oh, so brother. And that's how come people would even go to an extent of doing calculation for people when they get pregnant. Because they want to be sure that all this preaching about can we abstain, can we not do this, can we not do that, can we also check in with them to see if they practice what they preach. It's easy to preach. It's not easy to practice. And most often than not, we would want to take the side of preaching. We preach a lot. Don't do this. It's not acceptable. You cannot do this. You cannot do that. That is why I am advising you. It's easy for somebody who drinks a lot of alcohol to tell another person, don't drink. It's easy, but it won't be easy for him to stop drinking. It's easy to tell somebody that, I think you have issues with fornication. Can you just abstain? But trust you me, if you have ever battled with the sexual sin, you know that it's easier said than done, but it's doable. But you see, we have come to a point where people do not really give us the practical measures to fighting that sin that we do not want to be judged with, and rather giving us the don'ts. They don't want to tell us the do's. They don't want to be honest about it. There are people who have traveled certain roads and they know that road, there is no light on it. If you try using that road, can you be a little bit careful? And that's what it means not to be a hypocrite. Oh, that road, I used it. It's bumpy. It's dark in the night. It's not too good. Can you not use it? You have saved the person tons and tons of them making an effort to go through what you went through. And that's the part that we've checked responsibilities even as everyday people. Just like I told you my encounter with that guy on campus, I just realized that people had judged him based on how he looked, and we do that a lot. Upon interaction with him, I realized that this is a young person who was also having internal struggles with just being himself. But unfortunately, he did not have parents like I did. They wanted him to fit as the pastor's son, and he was trying his very best. He never disclosed at any point that he smoked, but for the simple reason, now I think back and I'm like, okay, probably I was too harsh with my outlook, until my roommate caught him red-handed smoking. And then she came to the room and said, Maxine, today what I saw. I said, what is it? She said, please try and be all cool about it. I saw that your friend, the one who comes here, saw him smoking. He says I shouldn't tell you. Then I'm like, okay, so there is more to this individual than just earrings. There is more to the struggles he was having internally than what I just knew that he was a pastor's son. He was just fitting in. You know what? He came around. He says, I know you have heard. Your roommate promised that he was not going to disclose, but I don't trust her. I smoke. And come and see me. I'm like, so which other lies are you keeping? He's like, because when I come and I say it, you will not listen. You will judge me. That's where I learned my lesson. If we will not judge, if we will just accept people for the mistakes they do and hope that they get it better the next time, they will not live double standard lives. Now, he has to give me reasons why he smokes. I didn't need the reasons, but I just didn't like the idea he was smoking. And it wasn't like he was ready to quit. But he just said something. He said, I smoke when I'm stressed. I'm like, it's a lie. Because sometimes it's the lies we want to hear. We want to hear the lies. They are more soothing than the truth. He smokes because he smokes. He doesn't smoke because he's stressed. He's giving me the stressed version of why he smokes because he thinks that is what I will want to hear. And most often than not, that is what we want to hear. We want to hear people say that, oh, we are abstaining. When you know that they honestly would want to tell you that they are already having sex. We want to tell people, we want people to tell us that, oh, I was a virgin. When the person tells you it's not a, so what? I mean, what is it? It's not like after being de-virginized, you can reinstate yourself. But you see, people have lied to their husbands. People have been hypocritical about things. just because they did not know how we will take the truth. Are you ready to take the truth? Are you ready not to succumb yourself to the pressure of acting and fitting in? Sometimes we are hypocritical because we want to enjoy our position. Oh, I am the head of the singing ministry. I cannot tell them how low I have sunk. Let me keep it like that. So it's position. Sometimes it's because of personal benefit. You know that this lady is entertaining you because she honestly thinks this is a good Christian brother. Should they find out the other side that you are acting, Otilo, they are gone. You will lose the love of your life. So because of your personal benefit, you just hold on to the lies and present the lies as truth. It's easy to be something that you are not. And it's difficult to be authentic and to be yourself. This morning, are you guilty? Have you been authentic? Is it still the double standard life? Have you lied to people? We've all not been good when it comes to this part of our lives. We have failed. I failed in the past. I'm still failing. But I think an honest conversation this morning should retrace our steps back to rediscovering ourselves, that for whatever it is, there's always a timeline to our hypocrisy. People will find out. So Bible will say whatever is covered will be uncovered, and every secret will be made known. For some of us, we have held on to too many lies. We have acted enough. We have presented ourselves as things that we have not. And that's fraud. That's fraudulent. We have scammed people with the way we have presented ourselves. Can we do a better job? Can we say the same and mean it? We have given compliments and we have said things behind people's back that when they are even in front of us, we could not have said it. If you say it behind their back, can you say it when they are there? If you preach that do not sleep with a man till you are married, and you go back on your words, can you be honest about the part that you failed? So that in the light of people do not see us all holy, all righteous, all sanctimonious. Are we not tired of just living double standard life? Just like that guy will come to my room and take off the earrings, and when he's not with me, he'll put it back. Is it not too much work for us? Sometimes we feel drained. We know it, because you have to move with the script. But sometimes you even forget what is in the script. And it's time to put that script down. It's time to stop appearing all good when you know that you are just bad human. It's time to know that weaknesses and poor decisions is what makes us human. And that when we even fail at that, we'll admit, pick up the pieces and move on. Guilty or not guilty, who the cap fits, let him wear it. We'll be right back.
All right, so we're still here on Peny Radio and Peny GH. Are you practicing what you're preaching? Share your experience with us. You can share your experience. You can share your comments with us on WhatsApp 0543829571. If you're doing the watching on YouTube, you can as well share your comments with us. Are you guilty or not guilty?
Guilty as charged.
So I have this comment here.
Guilty as charged.
I have this comment here. He says, it's not easy practicing what you preach.
No.
Sometimes what you preaching is not comfortable for you yourself.
Yeah.
Doing the opposite feels very good.
Yeah.
But when you step outside, you want to pretend that you're doing it.
Yeah.
I think the person is talking about comfort here.
But you see, that's the point, that we all know that we fall short of perfection.
Yeah.
You see, when you get to that point where you know that I'm not perfect, but you see, there's a point we feel that, especially even in our Christian journey, we feel that, oh, we are no longer drinking milk, we are chewing bones, and so we are all perfect. And that's a lie.
Yeah.
And that's how come when people who are not part of us say, now see a quiet can't see a penny rains, because there you are with microphone for all those drinking. Meanwhile, when you are in your low moment, you drink small. And that's how come people do not like us. They think all Christians are fake. We are all hypocritical. But I tell you, I have met Christians who are genuine with their weakness. Yeah. See, somebody will tell me that the same way you dance when nobody is watching, dance the same way when somebody is watching. But you see, most often than not, you want to dance a nice dance when father is around. Dance in quotes. You want to speak a certain way when somebody is around. But when you are not there, I listen to a lot of people. I cannot stand it. This is my personal sentiment. I cannot stand it when women are vulgar. I cannot. And I will say this, I won't mince words. But how would you feel when someday maybe you pick my phone and you see that my WhatsApp interaction with somebody is filled with things that are vulgar, and you have heard me say this, isn't this lady who said that, oh, she cannot, is that like you are telling somebody, I cannot stand somebody who is dirty, and in your room is messed up, everything thrown about, you don't even have your bath. When the person chants on you accidentally, does not tell you that, oh, I am visiting, and you say you are the health minister, maybe in your church, when it comes to hygiene, you are the one who gives the talk, but they come to your house unannounced, and they realize that your whole apartment is in a mess. That is more detrimental. Because, also for mommy on here, and that's the shocker. We have allowed people to move out of the sheepfold as Christians because they thought that, oh, we are dealing with people who have it all figured out, who have their act together, only to realize that it's a double standard. Do not live a life of falsehood. When you fail, because there's a probability you will fail. And when you fail, accept the fact that you have failed and let the other party know that, oh, I told you about this whole philosophy that I don't do married man, but Charlie, once upon a time, this married man who came, I don't know, by the time I realized, that is it. It's your humanness. So that when someday the person finds out that, oh, you had something to do with this married man, they know that, you went back on your word just because you're not perfect. And this is not to say we are glorifying imperfection, but that is who we are. This is what makes us human beings. That we acknowledge that we fall short of the basis of what it means to be perfect. And that hypocrisy might sound like is the best way out because the work is it's not too much when you're a hypocrite. You just act. Keep your act together. But to go back and say that I want to live an authentic life, I want to practice what I preach. It is like a Herculean task. Can we just start from somewhere? Can we be honest about our challenges? The man who is an alcoholic, who is telling you not to drink, is not a hypocrite because he knows that maybe the road on which you are traveling will not end you well. Somebody will tell you that me pema or so me pema. That's not hypocrisy. He's telling you of what his shortfalls are, and he's telling you not to travel that path. But there's somebody who will tell you that me pema. He knows that what he's telling you is something he's not doing, but he's giving you a different script. Can we just look at the things we have said in the past we are saying that we do not even abide by? Can we stop pretending that we are living the things we are saying? When people are honest about things that they have done, can we stop judging them? I don't know if anybody has walked up to you and told you that I'm a lesbian. The first thing is that, oh, Sodom and Gomorrah. And people are keeping such things. Double standard. Husbands are bisexual because there's a part of you that cannot tell. Wives are bisexual. They can't tell their husbands that there's another part to me, because society will judge them. The church and the sheepfold of Christianity, which is supposed to be a comfort zone for people to retrace their step, is rather a place where people are going back because they think we are all hypocrites and they don't want to mingle with us. I know people say me, I don't even want to marry a Christian. They are all fake. You marry them and you see their other side. They'll show their true colors. Can we redeem our image? It's time to redeem our image, and we can only do that when we come clean and practice what we preach. Thank you so much for your attention. Today's food for thought is just like to say in Bob Marley's words, who the cap fits, let him or she wears it. Hey, wears Namkai, wear it. Because the cap definitely is fitting some head, and it's not pleasant when it fits. But it fits, and you have the option of either taking it off. Let's take some things off. Let's take some things off. Let people know us that we are changing. It's not easy, but can people get comfortable? Can we also start living the life of what we preach? Can we preach and practice? If you can't practice, don't preach. And I'm a boy. Here is you. I shall overcome.
All right. So we're still here talking about guilty or not. You still not had the answer. I know you're keeping the answer to yourself, but I should sing again. They said Susume to sing you.
What mean?
So whatever happens, if you do not answer here, you get a chance to answer somewhere.
But you know, people don't like it when you say you're a hypocrite.
Yeah.
We don't like it, but we are.
Yeah, for that.
Hey, you call me hypocrite? Do you know who is a hypocrite? Meanwhile, you are asking something you are not. You are saying things you are not doing. We will lift up holy hands when we know that Chale Mercy. Mercy.
All right. So we're still here. If you want to still send your comments, you can do so before we end it completely. Are you guilty or not? Are you guilty or not?
Media guilty as charged. It's like me talking to you. I'm also thinking of how my four fingers are directly pointing to me, or the three are pointing to me, because Charlie, there's a bigger mandate on me to live right. So there are many times I've been hypocritical with all my friends, and you know, hypocrisy is all about just saying it as it is. And we don't like it. We all want to appear good. Oh, this thing looks, it's okay, just because we don't want to miss that opportunity. We don't want to miss that benefit. We don't want to miss that association. But you know that enkoye. And there are times we had opportunities to even come clean, but we didn't. Mercy. So
wherever I did the watching and wherever I doing the listening, this random thought with Maxine, and I have this comment here. This person is saying that there are times you have something bothering you, but you can't let it out to get help because of what they will tell you. They will kill you before your time. So what it means is that they actually need people to talk to. Those same things that we are speaking to them about. They want to let it out. But because of what we will say
Yeah.
before we even give the help. If even we
So it's our fault
Yeah.
that people have become very hypocritical.
Yeah.
What will they say? How will they see me?
Yeah.
Will they accept me?
So I think we have a lot to do.
Yeah.
We have a lot to do. We need to work on ourselves before trying to work on others.
Yeah.
There are a lot of counselors who are bleeding, but they pushed it under there. They wouldn't tell you.
You know how it is like when people say things like, oh, when you see people coming to church as couple looking all nice, especially somebody who's saying their same prince, 2 years, his and we call it his and hers. And you think, oh, there was this time I just spoke to a friend like that. I said, I like it when you come to church with your husband. I said, Maxine, we are fighting. And I thought that was so honest on her part. It's like we've not been talking for the past 1 week now. And I drive off the house. I don't tell, but they come to church. She was just honest about it. She said we are fighting, meaning you're fine. And I thought it was cool. I'm like, okay, someday when I'm out, I'll do that. I'll be honest. Because in my mind, people are looking at you like you're all perfect, Mr. and Mrs. But meanwhile, 2 weeks running madam when you're fine. Only madam when you're fine.
Oh God.
Guess who went it?
Oh my word.
Only madam when you're fine.
Yeah. Okay. So we're still here. If you're guilty, just say it. Work on yourself.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah. Just pick the pieces, okay? Put them together. Let them make sense. So that people will.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know if you have any final words for.
Okay. So my final words is that okay, I say is that that because it's not one. Can we make a little more effort to be honest? Okay. Sometimes it's not like telling the whole truth, but just as you said, a little bit of the truth. So that your child, oh, me can say I have some struggles like that. But it is not about your child. It's about your liberation. Because you see, when you act, it gets to a point, you get out of character and you forget that there's a script you are working with. And that's the danger. So can we make a little more effort to be honest? Can we also show consideration when people fall short of perfection? Hey, Pastor Nwafani. Can we be a little more considerate? Hey, Christian brothers now, hey, fornication. Can we be a little more considerable? Okay. And the last thing I want to say is that hypocrisy is just deceiving others. It's just deception shrouded in a nice way. But there is an ability, we have what it takes to tear down those walls of deception. I know it will be challenging. I know it's going to be difficult. But you see, just like an alcoholic will tell you not to drink or to quit drinking, then he knows that he or she had traveled that path and it didn't end well. There are lessons to be learned when we are honest. When we travel those roads that looks very dark and we tell other people to be mindful of those potholes, it is us telling people that we have traveled that path, we have acknowledged our imperfections, and we want you to do a better job. Christians, let's do a better job. Non-Christians, let's do a better job. Muslims, let's do a better job. Because we have formed people to become hypocrites because of how we approach certain things. But it's time to put the script down.
All right. It's time to put the script down. Okay, so we have this message coming in from Adepadoma. It says, Peny Radio, I miss you guys. Thank you very much for today.
We miss you too, Adepa.
Yeah, we miss you too.
And good to know you are connected.
Yeah. Thank you for coming back. We've missed you. Hope you're having a good day. All right, so this is where we want to end it all. We want to say a very big thank you to all of you for staying with us. Thank you for joining. For those who listen on radio, we want to say a very big thank you. For those who watched us on YouTube, we want to say a very big thank you and God bless you. It means that we meet again on Wednesday.
Yep.
Same time, Wednesday, 10:30, right here on Peny Radio and Peny GH. It's Random Thought with Maxine. We also want to say a very big thank you and God bless you to Maxine for the time and always coming to have this wonderful
God
moment
bless you
with
too
us.
for having me.
Yeah. All right, so have a fruitful day.
Yeah.
The week is still young, okay? Make good use of the week. Let's meet again on Wednesday.
All right.
It is a bye for now.
Bye.